Mousesports is the story of this season of WC3L. They started off well against easy teams before pulling off an amazing upset against Meet Your Makers. Even with that win, they have yet to play a team ranked better than 5th place. This week they face the strongest SK team in the last 2 years. With the addition of Sweet, SK looks to have one of the strongest 1 versus 1 lineups in all of WC3L. With 3 30-minute long games, this clan war has the makings of an epic match. You're watching the Playday 6 matchup between Mousesports and Throat Commando on Imba Video. Welcome to Imbalanced. I'm Civilian Jones, and here with me is Seed. Just listening to the SK lineup sounds like ownage, whereas the Mousesports players are less than remarkable. Titan compared to Deadman, G-Axe compared to Zacard. Yet, somehow Mousesports is higher in the standings than SK.
Last season, Mousesports was little more than a joke. From watching them this year, I get the sense that they really want to win. It's a feeling that's hard to get from watching replays. When they're losing, they wait longer to quit than other players I've seen. In long games, they always seem to be able to pull it out, just like Civilian is pulling out our first game, Gia against Zacard.
Zacard is harassing Gia's army on Echo Isles in the second match. Here we have Zacard attacking Gia's base. That DK is looking really tasty, and the orcs get him. The first match went to Zacard after he killed Gia's Gargs and Destros. The Blade Master here is also walking a fine line. When things look bad, he walks away, but he still gets hit by the Lich. The Tauren gets greedy and kills an Abomination. In return, he gets silenced, slowed, and killed. This is the end game. Both players are out of money. Zacard's pathetic army against Fiends and the DK and the Lich. If the DK dies, then the Lich will probably follow, and then Gia is in deep trouble. Look at how the DK runs around. Zacard ends up losing everything except his heroes, and then TP's out. Gia goes on to win the game. A little creepjack in the third game. Zacard, Blade Master, sees what's happening, and then he brings in the hurt. The Tauren stomps the ghouls and has a lightning shield on. Those ghouls just drop like flies. Gia is fumbling. He backs out of this horde scene, and the statue gets ensnared. No more healing for those poor ghouls. Another stomp from the TC keeps the ghouls where Zacard wants them. And a second lightning shield goes on to get the ghouls. Gia's army is decimated, and Zacard wins.
Spell playing his second match this season against Insomnia, who's 2-2. It's Human Mirror on Lost Temple, which means at least one player is going to fast expand. In this case, it's Insomnia, but Spell knows exactly what he's doing and counters beautifully. Insomnia was out microed so badly that Spell was at tier 2 before the expo finished. In game 1, Spell made a compelling argument for why he should be on the starting roster of Mousesports. In game 2, Insomnia wants more than his pride back. He gets an expo up first and then sets up to harass Spell. At this point in the game, Spell has almost no chance. In a mirror match, it's extremely hard to come back from being down this far. Spell starts his comeback by trying to get a few hero kills, probably the easiest way to get back into a game. With all those kills, he inches closer to a level 6 Panda. Now I'm not sure if everyone knows the strength of a level 6 Panda, so to demonstrate, here is a level 1 Panda, which gets owned. On the other hand, a level 6 Panda is dominant. First of all, level 6 Panda has Breath of Fire, but then he can split into 3 Pandas for even more ownage. He kills every single hero except for the Demon Hunter, which just runs away. Spell completes his comeback by finally getting a level 6 Panda. One of the many skills a level 6 Panda gets is Cyclone. Cyclone, coincidentally, makes it easier to kill other heroes. First you Cyclone, then you Surround, and finally you finish by killing the hero. Now your level 6 Panda can't always use its ultimate. Sometimes it's just as much fun to use the good old Drunken Haze Breath of Fire combo. But the Panda does have a somewhat tough time against spell breakers. As you can see here, Spell doesn't have any counter for spell breakers, but somehow Spell scrounges up the money to summon his Panda again. Now killing a level 6 Panda once is possible, but doing it twice is a Herculean task. Spell dominates Insomnia in 2 games.
Here we see Deadman creeping an expansion, the expansion right behind Titan's base. This second match was a long one. Both sides had multiple expansions. The first match on Turtle Rock went to Deadman. Here we have a mid-game battle. The Warden is looking like she's in trouble, but pulls off the TP in time. Titan is following Deadman's retreat to his base. Deadman hopes that his base will be safe, but his weaker army is going to be in serious trouble.
Panda, it's a level 6 freaking Panda of freaking ownage. Deadman runs away in fear of the Tri-Panda ultimate.
In the last battle of this match, Deadman just doesn't have a good army. He has a ton of abominations. All of the abominations can't be fighting at once, and the level 8 Panda makes a big impact. Titan wins game 2. In the third game, Deadman goes back to his usual race, Night Elf, for a great mirror match. From the start, Deadman's superior Night Elf ability is shown. There are 2 hurt Demon Hunters. Titan moved his Demon Hunter away from the battle too late, whereas Deadman's Naga staffs the Demon Hunter. The DH runs by the shop, gets a healing potion, and then goes after and kills Titan's Naga. Dead made 2 illusions. Titan ends up focusing the 2 that aren't real. When he gets to the actual Demon Hunter, it puts on an invulnerability potion. Titan's Demon Hunter gets focused and tries to run away too late again. This match went hands down to Deadman.
Sweet against Sass, game 1. Sass decides to creep over at Sweet's base. Those are the ghouls that are waiting to creep that green, and there is Sweet's base. Sweet pushes into Sass's base. In this situation, archers usually drop like flies, but Sass is somehow keeping them all alive and killing some ghouls at the same time. Sass gets a huge advantage early from a plethora of ghoul kills. But Sweet knows what he's doing. The area of effect damage from the Panda could cripple his army, but he has a healing scroll and he knows when he should run. If he had stayed just a few seconds longer, his whole army could have been decimated. Now he can heal them all up. The final battle is played perfectly by Sweet. His focus is running his air units around so the Dryads can't do anything. Then, when the time is right, focus down on Sass's heroes. Sweet wins games 1 and 2 very easily.
Hey Seed, why was Sass creeping the green out by Sweet's space in the beginning?
He knew that he needed to level his Dark Ranger as fast as possible, and if he creeps in the normal places, the Death Knight would creep jack him all day long. So he tried to mix it up and get some easy experience.
Sass was doing well in the beginning, but Sweet got the win. How did Sweet come back from losing so many ghouls early?
Each battle has more and more units fighting. Thus, it's more important than the previous battle. Sass won the early, kind of minor battles, but when it came to the very, very important, longer, larger battles, Sweet just played it perfectly. He really showed why he's one of the best players in the world.
Well, we'll get to see more of him in our next match, the 2 vs 2.
The 2 against 2 starts off with Hasuobs and Spell creeping hard. There were not any major fights, just creeping and teching until both teams decided to lay it down. Mousesports went Necro Wagon, a completely unorthodox play. SK had both Dryads and Spirit Walkers, but they were not able to dispel all of the skeletons and dodge the siege at the same time. Mousesports also used the insanely deadly combo of Coil, Nova, and Bolt to take down enemy heroes and game 1. Unfortunately, the replay of Game 2 was never saved, but Mousesports won that game also. In this game, SK's 2 vs 2 team of Sweet and Zachard got embarrassed by Mousesports' team of almost no-name players. How did Mousesports pull it off, Civilian?
Mousesports players Spell and Hasuobs worked their armies together. Not only were their armies moving together and backing each other up, but their armies also complemented each other. Mousesports knew they had to protect their siege and necromancers. To do that, they wanted to fight in a tight space, which they set up nicely in the final battle. SK didn't have any of that strategy. Sweet and Zachard were still playing like it was a 1 vs 1 game. With their skill in 1 vs 1, they can micro out of anything, but in a 2v2 game, army composition means so much more, and micro takes the back burner. Their armies both had a lot of melee, although SK had a half a dozen Dryads, which gets owned by Siege. So much melee made it harder for them to use all of their firepower against Mousesports during the final battle. The 2 top solo players don't make a team. Mousesports' team strategy was what won the game.
Very true. For the past 2 seasons, SK's 2 vs 2 team has been a nagging problem for them. Just like how postponed games are WC3L's nagging problem, and also the subject of this week's rant.
Postponed games and lost replays are some of the most annoying things for fans of WC3L. Take, for example, the clan war we are covering. It was left tied 2-2 for 4 days because of a postponed game. In addition to that, there was also a lost replay. More recently, in Fnatic vs. One Gaming, 3 matches were postponed. Teams get to choose the times for the clan wars, so they should be more than able to get enough players to play. For Warcraft 3 to be accepted as a sport, this league needs to set a professional example. In any major sport, league games are not cancelled. The easy solution is for each team to designate one alternate player who would play if someone could not make it. In addition to that, if the match still had to be postponed, it would be a forfeit for the team who was not ready to play. Imba Video's top players won't be postponed. Here is number 5.
Titan against Deadman, Game 1 on Turtle Rock. Titan sees Deadman attacking very hard and tries to push his advantage by towering him. Some might call towering an undead player stupid, but I say Titan has a ton of guts. He either comes up with the big win quickly or loses in a brilliant display of fireworks. In this case, Deadman is able to quickly build a couple of meat wagons and stop the push.
At number 4, Gia thinks he can get a Farseer kill against Zakard, but he underestimates the Tauren Chieftain.
How can you underestimate the power of a full mana TC?
I don't know, but a well-timed stomp makes surrounding the Death Knight a piece of cake.
Number 3 is also from Gia against Zakard, but this time Zakard is the greedy one. But it's not like the greed is not well placed. Each Acolyte killed while the Undead is upgrading their Citadel is worth a huge amount of money. But I'm still not sure it's worth losing your Blade Master. The always powerful Coil Nova makes quick work of the BM.
Later in the same game, the TC shows off even more of his dominance. It's nice when 5 ghouls attack a TC with Lightning Shield, but it's even better when he has the mana to stomp. The TC takes most of the undead army into red health and wins the game for Zakard.
This week, how could anyone but the level 6 Panda get the top play? Titan against Deadman, the Panda cyclones the Death Knight and tries to kill the Lich before the DK figures out what's happening. The Panda shows off his dominance once more. Thanks for watching. That's all for Playday 6 of the WC3L. Next week, we will rejoin the struggling Meteor Makers as they face off against Harai.
Harai doesn't have anywhere close to the star power of MYM, but this season of WC3L has shown that star power doesn't always win clan wars.
Also, Harai has the ever-dangerous Nilknarf, who should get Harai at least 1 point. I'm Seed with Civilian. Thanks for watching. Hey, have you figured out how to spell Shro Commando?
Yeah, I think I got it. But it just sounds like scrotum.